Hello, it's Deb Gemmell of Deb Gemmell Mods, and I, excuse me, write any gauge patterns at the moment, and they're free on my website, but I'm just gonna catch you up on what I'm doing. I've had a couple weeks of like casting on and ripping out and casting on and ripping out and not being able to decide on anything that I want to knit. So I have landed on a couple things. And I have a couple finished objects, which I don't think I had any last week. So one of the things I've been working on, oh, hold on, is some socks out of the New Pathways, what did it say? New Pathways for Sock Knitters by Kat Bordy. And if you have been following me at all, you know I like a formula, I write in a formula style, and I really like a pattern that's in a formula style. So she has specific sock patterns, stitch by stitch instructions, but then she gives you a master, like a recipe to follow, and that's what I've been doing. So I was doing these ones, Coriolis, with this spiral going around the sock. But because I can't leave well enough alone, I wanted to add a second spiral. So sometimes modifications take a little while to get correct. So I did one sock with one spiral, and that worked perfect. And then I thought, oh, I should add a second spiral. That would be fun, wouldn't it? So I added a second spiral to the second sock of the first pair, and it was really tight. So that second spiral just tightens up the whole, that's not in the pattern. So that's just me adding a second spiral. So that really tightened up the sock. And there are some trouble to get on my feet, over my heel with the second spiral. So I started another pair, and the first sock of the second pair with two spirals, I thought, well, when I start the second spiral, which, where am I here? So here's one of the socks. So it starts here. Here's the spiral, and then it goes around, and then when you get to here, you start your heel, you do your heel, and then you continue the spiral. And when I continued this spiral, I added a second spiral on the other side of the heel. Except on this first sock of the second pair, I thought I need to loosen it up. So on the second spiral, all on both spirals, once I got past the heel, I worked yarn over instead of a knit in the front and the back. So in this case, what are you doing? You're coming this way, you're increasing and then decreasing to make the spiral, increase and decrease. So here there would be a knit in the front and the back, and here there would be an SSK. And if it's going the other way, it would be a knit two together. You get the idea, increase, decrease. So she uses the increase knit in the front and the back, which is great for one spiral. So I thought, well, I'm gonna do a yarn over instead of the knit in the front and the back as the increase to loosen it up. And sure enough, it did loosen it up, but it's still tight to get on my heel. Feels terrific once it's on, but it is a struggle to get over my heel. So this is the fourth sock, the second sock of the second pair. And this time I thought I would start the yarn over in replacing the knit front and back further down the sock. So let's see. So the heel starts. Can you see that there? The heel working the heel starts here. So you're doing this spiral from here. It's hard to look in the camera and see where I am. How do people do this? Okay, so the spiral goes like this, the first spiral. And it stops here, and you work your heel. And then I started the second spiral at the top of the heel over here. So I thought I would start the yarn overs further down, and I think you can see it, the change the change is right here. Anyway, so I did knit in the front and the back on the increases here, and then I did yarn overs over here. Can you see that they're bigger than there? Anyway, you might have to take my word for it. So I started the yarn overs here, which is here on the sock. So it lines up sort of where your heel would start. And this works perfectly. So I'm going to do another pair. I think I will start one of the other socks in the book. And then I will come back and do this again. So I think I need to do like 2 inches in the regular way she wrote it, if I'm going to do 2 spirals, and then start the yarn overs as a substitute. And I think the 2 spirals look so great. So I will do another pair, just maybe not right away since this is my 4th sock already, but sometimes it takes, you're making a modification to a pattern, and her pattern works great exactly the way it's written, but I wanted to add that 2nd spiral, and it took me 3 socks. 3 socks later, I've got it perfectly correct. So that's a win for me. I have 4 socks, and 4 socks, and only 1 sock is really easy to get over my heel because, well, the first sock that has 1 spiral goes on perfectly. So the first sock and the last sock go on fine, and the one in the middle where it's playing with a 2nd spiral, needed all that work. So I'm really happy with this. I will certainly knit another pair of these, maybe after the next pair of socks I knit, just give myself a little bit of a break. But I'm really happy with how these turned out. And modifications, they take a while sometimes. So I'm happy with these. So these are the Coriolis by Kate Bordy, and they're out of the New Pathways for Sock Knitters. And it's a terrific book, and I'm on my 2nd time through it actually, and now I'm taking a look at it and saying, what would I do different, and how would I do this? So now I have a better idea of how I might maybe make some modifications to the other socks. So that'll keep me going for a little bit. So 1 finished object. Oh, my other, okay, I'm calling it finished. It's not finished. It's not finished because I have a whole bunch of ends to sew in, but this is the Clint shawl by Natasha Hornby from the Netherlands, and all the knitting is done and the bottom edge is done. See all that sawtooth business at the bottom? That took me quite a long time to do, but I'm very happy with it. And I just need to do a couple more evenings, maybe in front of the television, sewing in ends. Sewing in a lot of ends. That was me leaving them. So some of them are done, and I just have to cut them. Oh yeah, I see a bunch there that I actually did sew them in. I just haven't cut them off. And then the rest of them I have to sew in. But look at that. Isn't that fun? Yeah, that was great. Oops, don't look at that too much. Okay, here's the better side there. So I'm pretty happy with that. It's in sports weight. I didn't do much in the way of modifications. A little bit of color modification at the bottom because I ran out of my other color. Well, I didn't run out. I got to the end of one skein and I didn't want to open another one. So I did all the sawtooth stuff in gray. And I think once this is blocked, it's going to be gorgeous and warm. It's in Lichen and Lace. The colors are Lichen and Lace Rustic Heather, which is a singles sports weight. So the whole thing is in sports weight. And the gray is Briggs & Little Sport. So I'm really happy with how this turned out. It was really a pleasure to knit. And I did complain about my corners, but I think that was mostly me, and they did improve as I went through it. So it might be worth that center kind of quilt part. I could do that again and maybe make a blanket out of it or something, make several. That might be fun to do. So I'm counting that as finished, although, okay, the knitting is finished. The fun part is finished, and now I have ends to sew in, but it's pretty toothy wool, so you don't have to sew in very far, because as soon as it's washed, they're going to stick to each other and nothing's gonna come apart. So then I have a few other things. Oh, we might as well get this over with. If you saw me last time, I had started this, and I had started it with a color pattern. So this is the contiguous drop shoulder pattern, one of mine, any gauge. So this is in fingering, and I got the shoulder part done, and I started the color work, and I didn't like it. I just found it a little difficult to do. I'm trying to do more color work because I'm not very good at it, so I'm just trying to get better, but this didn't do it for me. So I took it out. So then I thought I took it back, and I thought I'll do a vest. So I ripped it back because it was down here, and I ripped it back to here. And I thought I would do a vest. And how far did I get? On the back. And then I have to split it, right, for the armhole. So I started with a twisted pattern, which, I can hardly see it. It's out of, this is the pattern, contiguous drop shoulder, any gauge. And this is the Twisted Rib book, the Twisted Stitch source book by Nora Gone. Really great. And I like the pattern, but then I just started doing it, and I thought it was going to be too drapey. So still just that kind of, I don't quite know what to knit. I'll try this. It didn't really do it for me. So I'm going to rip this out. As you can see, there's my cone. Oops, where's my finger? There's my cone. I have a ton of purple fingering. So what I might do is in the fall, I think, I might try this again and double the yarn. And then it wouldn't be so drapey, and it would be, quite frankly, a quicker knit. And yeah, so I think I might do that. I haven't totally put it out of my mind, but for now, it's going in the naughty corner because it's not doing it for me. So the other thing I was doing, I cast on a couple things, because what else do you do when things aren't going well? You cast on. So I thought I would try this hemp I have. So I have a label here somewhere, do I? It's in my bag, hold on. I have hemp for knitting. Grab a label. Hemp, I should take the price tag off because this isn't anything close to current. It was a stash dive for sure. So there, okay, just rip that off. Hemp for knitting. Hemp for knitting, that's by Lana Haynes, and she lives in Nelson, BC. This is fingering weight, 3mm needle, 50 grams, 150 meters, 100% long fiber hemp. Hand or machine wash, lay flat to dry. So this is fingering weight, and I am supposed to be getting 28 stitches to 4 inches. Well, as you may have heard before, I am a loose knitter, and I have trouble with plant fibers. So I went down, so it was supposed to be a 3 millimeter, so I thought, well, I'll never get it with a 3 millimeter. So I went down to 2 millimeters and I cast on. I cast on with 2 millimeters needles. And that was really good. And I am getting 24 stitches equals 4 inches with a 2 millimeter needle where it's supposed to be knit with a 3 millimeter. Now that's totally me. I am a loose knitter, continental loose knitter. So I have seen Lana knit and she does exactly what it says and gets the gauge that she needs. So it is totally me and plant fibers and the way that I knit. So I started with the 2 millimeter and the thought of knitting a whole sweater out of, even short sleeved, out of on a 2 millimeter needle was a bit daunting. So modifications, here we come. Because I was using already a 2 millimeter and I don't even own any needle smaller than that, and I honestly don't really want to, I didn't cast on for the ribbed, that's supposed to be the ribbing edge of the circular yoke, because you were supposed to go down 2 more needle sizes, and I don't even have needles that smaller than 2 millimeters, nor do I want to use them. So I just cast on and started knitting and let it roll, and then I just started the pattern doing the short rows, and you can see the short rows there. There's the back, there's the short rows, and this is the front here. So I did that, and what I'm using is my own book, Need a Circular Yoke by Cabin Fever. Elizabeth Falone and I wrote this in 2014, so it's a little getting up there, but it has all of the gauges. So let me just show you. It's actually one pattern, and there we go. It tells you what to cast on according to your gauge. So I'm casting on a crew neck with 24 stitches, which is actually the finest gauge this goes to. But okay, so that's what I did. So I just cast on. I was supposed to have a little bit of ribbing, and I didn't do the ribbing. I just knit a few rounds to give it a roll, and then you set it up, and then it's this is a downloadable on Ravelry, this book. So I did the short rows, and then it tells you how many, you can do several different bands, different bands around the yoke. So cause I'm doing sort of a medium-ish size and a small gauge, I can do 3 bands of color, 3 bands, of pattern. So this is how it works, and this is my plan. So I'm doing 3 bands, 1, 2, 3. So I have done the cast on, and I have done transition A, and I have done 1 band of pattern, and then I just started transition B. So here we are. So, this is the back and this is the front. So I'll just show you. So this is the back. So those are my short rows. This is my front. You can see that it's narrower. Here are my short rows here. And then I looked at it and said, can I knit this whole thing on 2 millimeter needle? No, I cannot. So I switched to from a 2 millimeter needle to a 2.5. Yeah, big jump. It's going to make a huge difference, but it is actually easier for me to knit it, like more relaxing to knit. So I knit it with the 2 millimeter to here, and then I did this garter. What did I call them? I had a game for everything. transitions. Oh, transitions. These are called transitions. So there's a row of increases before the transition, and there's a row of increases after, and then you do a band of pattern. And so this is the pattern I've chosen. And then I have done another increase round, and the first row round of my next 3 garter ridge 6 row transition. So that's how the pattern works, and I'll do 3 of these. So I've switched to a 2.5 needle, which I think gives me maybe 5 stitches, 5.5 stitches to the inch. That's what I think. So I'm down to at least between 20 and 22 stitches to 4 inches, just because I went up 2 needle sizes. But it's still not too holy. Like for a summer top, it's going to be great. So I'm very happy with it. Can I get it on? There we are. Here we are. There. So where's the pink? There's the pink. There we are. There, it's going to look like that. There. It's going to look great. I'm very happy with it. So I'll just have to plug around for a summer top. I probably should have started this in December, like, cause this is a lot of knitting. But anyway, I've enjoyed it, and this is deep stash for me. I bought this from Lana quite a long time ago, but cause I couldn't get gauge, I didn't quite know what to do. So I'm using this cause I can switch the gauge on this really easily for a finished size at the bottom. And yeah, so this is a great book. I have already, I think, 3 sweaters that I knit out of this book. I don't know if I have any pictures of, I do have pictures. So here's some pictures. So it's one pattern. It gives you a couple different neck treatments, several different bands, lace, texture, color work, and then all the sizing. So here's some pictures. There's a color work one, so a texture band and a color work band. And then this is one of I have this sweater, so that's 3 bands of color work. That's a capelet. What's this one have? 1 band up there, short sleeves, and a couple bands. This is an Aran weight cotton. So different, there we go. And here's 3 bands of lace in a DK weight. And what's that? 2 textured, a different kind of band. It's got a slip stitch, and then a textured band and a textured band, and a whole bunch here. So different colored transitions. That garter stitch transition, another short sleeve. There's another cape. I have this one, so that's in Lopi, and that's chunky weight. And then these 2 are cotton DK. And is there one more? There we are, a last picture. So a couple of the girls showing their sweaters. Yeah, so this goes from finished size 37 up to 60 inches finished. So this is a downloadable. It is, you do have to go from page to page because there's an awful lot of information in it, but I will keep you posted on mine as I go along. I should have, I don't know, a couple more bands done fairly shortly, and then it does a raglan thing at the end, and that's where you can do a lot of sizing for yourself. So like you can check the sizing with the raglans after the bands are finished. So I'm sort of excited to be doing one. I obviously have a couple from this book that I've knit. I have another one with a stand-up collar that is quite heavy, which I really, really like a lot. And I have a sleeveless one that I wear as a vest out of DK weight cotton. And I've worn that quite a lot. So again, here it is starting, and I've already done a couple modifications, changes my needle size, and yeah, and changed the neck. I changed the neck and I changed the needle size. But this needle size is really doing it for me. I'm quite happy with that. The other thing I did different is I am having an awful time purling with this hemp. And that's just me. I have a really difficult time with plant fibers. I think it's the way that I knit, the continental, the way that I knit. Oh, just a second, someone came in. Hi, back again. So I have an awful time purling with the hemp. It's the way that I knit, and I am a continental knitter, but I hold my finger tall. So it occurs to me that when I'm purling, I actually need quite a bit of elasticity in the yarn to be able to make my purl stitch the way that I normally do. So that is a problem with plant fibers that do not have any stretch at all, and this has none. So what I have been doing, let me see if I can show you what I did. I decided I was going to do one of the purled transitions here, because I like it, but I can't do it because I have a really hard time purling. And so I'm doing garter stitch in the round, which it does involve a purl round, a knit round, a purl round. So what I have been doing, where's my marker? I have been doing a wrap and turn. So it's a little messy. Yeah, it's a little messy here, but I do a wrap and turn. I turn to the wrong side and I knit the round that's supposed to be the purl round. So I knit around on the right side, wrap and turn just past the marker, then go to the wrong side and knit another round, wrap and turn past the marker, turn. And that's how I'm doing my garter stitch transition, which looks great. And yeah, it's a little messy. Where's my pink mark? Wherever my pink marker is, it's a little messy. Oh, it's over here. There's my pink mark. It's a little messy right there, but you know, who cares? And it makes it 100% easier for me to do this. So that was my other modification. That's because of the way that I knit, the way that I purl actually, and plant fibers, which have no give, which I have a problem with. So it's not my first time trying to knit with plant fibers. I do have a hard time, but I am happy with how this is going, and I'm happy with my gauge, even though it's not even close. I'm getting 22 stitches equals 4 inches. That's supposed to be 28. So I'm not really worried about it. It's a summer top. I'm just happy to, I don't even have hardly any summer tops that I've knit because of this problem I have with plant fibers. But if this works for me, then I could get more fingering weight hemp and do this, and next year I would start earlier to do that. So there we are. That's my need a circular yoke. Yeah, and if you download the book and you have any problems, I'm at the end of the email and I'm happy to help people. So the other thing is that I took a spinning class and we were given BFL, 200 grams of BFL fiber, which I spun, and I'm really happy with it. Look at the luster on it. It's very nice. Chocolate brown. Very nice. So that was really fun. It was really nice to spin. So, and where my spinning wheel is over there. So I have been wrestling with what to knit with hand spun because, you know, it's not even. and I don't even for sure know what weight it is. But then I was watching who is this? Tanis Barley. I'll show you. I watch her because she's a spinner. Can I do this? There. Tanis Barley, and full screen, no. Well, I'm not having much luck here. There. So Tanis Barley, because she's a spinner, and she writes patterns, and then she knits her patterns in her, quite a bit of it, in her hand spun. So I thought that would be a good way to work. So this is called Inishmurray shawl. Oh, you're gonna, there's the name, Inishmurray. And there, you're gonna get reflection from my window, but there's the shawl. And I thought, well, I could knit that. And she wears it over her shoulders and then crossed at the front, and then she puts a belt on. I thought, oh, that's just perfect, because then your hands are free, you can walk around, and she's wearing it in the spring. I think is she in Ireland? She might be in Ireland. Anyway, so I thought, oh, well, that's perfect. So not having a clear idea of what my yarn weight is, and I did try the ruler thing, and because it's thick and thin, it's very difficult to kind of nail it down. So she recommends a 4mm needle. So I thought, well, mine is heavier than a DK, so I will start with a 4.5. Well, so I started with a 4.5mm. I thought, oh no, this would not be warm enough around my shoulders. So can you see it? There it is. So then I went down to a 4, and then I went down to a 3.75, and now I'm at a 3.5. So, and I mean, there isn't much of a difference between, can you see, between where I started and now. But anyway, it's very hard to see, and it's very dark, but I'm really happy knitting with the 3.5. So I went from a 4.5 down to a 3.5, but I'm happy with the 3.5. And so it's a little tighter. I can see because the window's in front of me, but so there. So it's gonna be like that. And not totally solid, but solid enough. And I didn't bother ripping it back. I just kept switching needles till I got something I liked. Now the other challenge in this is, can you see that? I'm sorry, you can't see that well. It's actually, can you see? I'll show you her picture. It's actually in reverse stocking stitch. So here's a picture. Oh, there. So it's actually reverse stocking stitch, the whole thing. So the yarn over like little flowery things are in stocking stitch, and then in between is reverse stocking stitch, which it took me a full repeat of the pattern to kind of get the symbols worked out, because they're actually backwards. So that took a little bit, but I am very happy with how it's working. I'm happy with having something, can you see there? I'm happy to be knitting something with my hand spun. There's a good picture there. And it's really easy to read now that I've gone through, like once I got to here, I had it figured out. So yeah, so I have 200 grams, which is plenty to knit this with. And I won't do she does a color change partway through. I don't think I'll do that. I would like to use all of it, because I did it all at once in a couple weeks. So then it's sort of, well, it's as consistent as it's going to be at this stage of my spinning adventure, which I started in October. So I'm like, cause there's some really thin stuff, but anyway, all good. So I will have that, let's see there. I will have this going, and it is a pleasure to do. There, oh there you can see some of it. Yeah. So it's a pleasure. There's the holes in it. And I'm so happy to be using some of my hand spun. And I have a fair bit. So that's one project that I'm going to do. And I think I put aside some to do another blanket, because I do need some really plain knit garter stitch based stuff, something to knit in the evening when I'm watching TV. So I'm going to start a blanket too. So that's where I am right now. I don't know if you knit through the summer. I do. So I'm going to keep going here, and maybe a little more emphasis on my hemp top, because it would be nice if I could actually wear it partway through the summer. Yeah, that's going to be a little while. I think I might do the sleeves first. Once I split the yoke, I might do the sleeves first, because then I will feel like I've accomplished something, and then we'll see how long it gets to be. Over the belt of my shorts would be excellent for the summer. So I hope that your knitting is going really well, and I am feeling a bit more settled than I have for the last couple weeks, and I think I have stopped ripping things out, which is a step forward. And I am going to start another sock out of the book, so that'll be another cast on for me, and I look forward to that. So I hope your knitting is going great, and well, if you don't knit through the summer, you can watch me. I will be knitting right through, and we'll see if in a couple weeks I have a couple more finished objects. Nothing I have is small, so I doubt it. Anyway, progress. There will be progress. So I'll see you soon. Happy knitting. Bye.